Jezebel continues to work on to dislocate you from the body, dislocate you from proper tutelage, and then she seeks to destroy you. Prophet Mike, when you think about that principle, what comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind is that the Jezebelic spirit first is, like you said, is that she tries to get into your head. So she tries to speak declarations or say negative things about you that make you forget all the things that God has already done in your life. And once you forget that, then you become depressed, and she tries to separate you from the house of God, which is your covering, and then she can totally destroy you. So it's very important, I believe, that as a prophet, to really stay connected to the church, to believers, and don't let people outside of the covering that you're connected to begin to speak in your ear, because I believe that's the first thing that she does, is takes weak people outside of your covering to try to speak negative things against you or what God has caused you to do, to try to make your mind be off of the good things and the blessings that God has already done from you previously.
Wow and wow. So Deacon Antonio, when you think about that principle, the Jezebelic spirit tries to depress, discourage, distract, dislocate, and destroy a prophet. Why is it important for prophets to always be on guard against a Jezebelic spirit?
I think it's very important, because when we look at that prophetic alliteration of depressing, discouraging, distracting, dislocating, and destroying, we see that her main agenda is to stop you from fulfilling your prophetic purpose. See, when you get into a space where you're doing great exploits in the kingdom, when you're doing things that you know that it's only being attributed to God's glory, then that's when Jezebel will try to strike, because she does not want to see God get the glory. She's always going to be in opposition to anything that's going to bring a positive light to the kingdom. So it's important that as prophets we are aware of these things, so that we're not caught off guard and those things begin to take place in our lives. Because if we're not on guard, we can become depressed, we can become distracted, we can be put into a place where we'll be dislocated from our family, from the company of prophets that we're into, and then eventually that will lead to the destruction of our prophetic purpose, because we'll no longer be moving into the things that God wants us to do. So as prophets, we really need to be girded, we need to be aware, we need to have our head on a swivel when God is doing major things, when God is using us in major ways, because that is a prime time for Jezebel to attempt to attack.
Yes, and you got to be aware of this, because the moment you feel prophetically inspired by God to fulfill your prophetic destiny, you're going to be attacked by a Jezebelic spirit. See,